Coming up in this video, psychedelic drugs and spirituality. This is part of our psychic mediumship training. If you want
us to answer the question, do drugs open the mind and can they be used for spiritual expansion?
Are they just a joyride for people to get lost in and bypass their problems?
So let's get into it. This question comes from one of our viewers. If you are new, consider subscribing.
Click that bell and you'll be good to go.
And also let us know that you can hear us and see us with a hashtag good to go.
Boom. If you have any questions as we go relating to the topic of this video,
there he goes.
Drop them in the comments.
There he goes. If we don't get to your questions live, we will answer any questions on the replay. So
boom, it's time to set the mood.
Let's set the mood. In this age of spiritual awakening, why is it that my eye starts itching as soon as I'm on live? Is that right like now? Some kind of weird thing? So more and more people are searching for how to get woke and how to stay woke. Okay,
I think you're trying to get woke with your eyes getting itchy.
I think so, because it's like I said, I'd be a terrible news anchor woman because like I can't resolve go like So numbers don't lie, though. There are over 33,000 people searching for spiritual awakening every month, right?
And that's important because in order to get woke and to stay woke, you've got to stop following the herd and start thinking for yourself and looking deeper to crack the code.
And today, like every day, that is what we are covering.
Every day.
So it is time to tag up.
Tag up. For all our Zen heads in Zen Head Academy, let us know that you're here with a hashtag Zen Head for life.
And if you're watching live, give us a hashtag live tribe.
And if you're watching in the replay, hashtag replay fam.
David was never a car salesman for any of you that were wondering.
No, I was a DJ for a while.
Yeah, so let us know where you're watching from so you can help David with his geography and cultural expansion so we're not the ugly Americans in your country.
Yes, please. What is up to Megan, to Nima, to
Nima.
Starseed? So good to see
and
all
our
of you.
IG fam.
Yes, what up?
So share the video and you get a prize.
Stay with us for the whole video and you get a prize.
And we change our prizes out every month. So if you've done it before, do it again. Plus, we're going to help you get woke and stay woke.
Boom. And while that's going to be entertaining, because we definitely are, with some free, juicy information, we do have an offer at the end to take your life and healing arts business from basic to bodacious, because this is our full-time gig.
That's what we do all day, every day, guys.
Yep.
And all we ask in exchange is that you check out the offer because that's what keeps the lights on, gives us a break for sushi once in a while, and feeds 2 hungry dogs.
And a greedy cat, but only if it works for you.
He's just like throws that cat under the bus every day. Blue's gonna like haunt you in your sleep. One of these nights he's gonna be like, you call me a greedy cat every day.
He already does.
So for those of you that don't know us yet, I'm Heather.
And I'm David
from ZenWestGarden.com.
And we help spiritual and metaphysical entrepreneurs bring their unique healing skills to the world.
Since 2008, we've helped thousands of clients and students go from feeling overwhelmed, confused, and insecure to being clear, confident, and successful.
And if you've just found us, welcome. Say hi in the comments. Let us know that you're here. It is great to connect. We love connecting with new people, and we love connecting with people who've been here for a while.
So also let us know if you are a healing arts professional or you just want to be, with a hashtag Healing Pro in the comments.
And we're here to help you confidently catapult your personal healing influence into the world so that you can stand out in your own genius.
Yes. So, wow, it's exciting today.
Nima says, Heather, your hair is so long.
It's getting there, right?
Nima, where's your hashtag Zen Head for life? That's what I'm waiting for.
Because you're a Zen head.
Because you're a Zen head.
So what we noticed, guys, a little bit about why we do what we do.
Right.
What we noticed from a lot of our students from all over the world training to be healing professionals was that there was a huge gap in what was being taught by a lot of teachers in our niche that seemed to be doing the same thing everybody else was doing.
But we are not trying to be the copy and paste cookie cutter kind of people doing the same stuff in the same way, because that's just not how we roll.
So some taught all the cool intuitive techniques without a foundation of self-growth to stabilize it.
And others taught self-growth without having any kind of a clue of what to happen when people started opening their intuitive skills.
And both groups have a ceiling that lack integration.
We've bridged that gap, and if you stay to the end, we're going to show you how to sign up for our best resource for spiritual and metaphysical entrepreneurs who want real-world skills to catapult their personal and professional lives without getting lost in the clouds. You get to just bypass the clouds.
Yeah, just like go straight up.
Bypass.
So if you need this in your life, give us a hashtag, tell me more, or send us a message on Facebook or a DM on IG at Zen Rose Garden.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
boom, boom. So crazy thing.
Yeah.
Every year, EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival, is a huge event in Las Vegas. And every year, without fail, we get booked with people that come in having a great, wonderful opening experience and then wonder how to stabilize.
Well, no. It's not always great and wonderful. It's like we just can like set our clocks by when EDC is in town, which is like early June here. Mm-hmm. It was like June 21st, which is my birthday, but it was like gets too hot in the desert and a lot of people were dying of heat stroke. So it's in early June, and we're not trying to kill people in Vegas. No. It was in early June, and people would do recreational drugs. And they would have sometimes this really shocking convergence with invisible reality, and their mind would open, and it scared them. And so, we always know that there's like going to be a line outside the door with like neon bunny ears on, trying to figure out what the heck just happened.
The bunny tails are fun too.
He likes the bunny tails.
I like her bunny tails.
So a little, that one. Okay, that's great. Nice.
That's so nice.
So a little bit of drug trivia here. So
James Arthur, in his book Mushrooms and Mankind, drew 3 conclusions about how some of the symbols of Christmas could come from Siberia, where Amanita muscaria mushrooms were commonly used.
So number 1, in Siberia, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so unprofessional. I get itch in my head. So in Siberia, reindeer are attracted to the mushrooms. Okay. Right. So which started the myth that they would fly on Christmas Eve. So that was his first point.
Yep. Number 2, because the red and white Amanita mushrooms grew under the evergreen trees.
Oh, they still do in Siberia. They just like decide to grow somewhere else.
And then they stopped. Yeah. They were the original gifts under the tree.
The gifts under the tree. So, and his third point was, in Siberia, the mushrooms traditionally are strung up and draped across the fireplace mantle to dry.
So he suggests that this might be why stockings are strung across the mantle today.
So interesting. That was kind of an interesting book that I came across in my theological studies about the topic, and some interesting theories for sure. Yep. But also interesting is that David's birthday is on Christmas. So that might be a reason why. I think I'm going to add that theory. That's probably why he ate the mushrooms.
Why I like Christmas.
So I want to throw a different term at you that we use in theology studies of spiritual drugs. Instead of psychedelics, because the term is entheogen. So, and there are entheogen religions that we study. So the term entheogen was coined by a group of ethnobotanists in 1979 to replace the terms hallucinogen and psychedelic as a term to be used in more serious studies of spiritual drug use. And it literally means to cause to be inspired or to cause to be God inspired.
Yeah.
Okay. So
kind of interesting. So we're
I want to set that up for you.
Our angle is more along the entheogen line than it is the psychedelic trip line. Okay, so that's kind of the angle that we're going to take.
We're going to make a distinction.
We're going to distinctify ourselves.
That's right.
So, Lords, good morning. Good to see you. Hashtag ZenHead for life. I'm seeing so many ZenHeads. It's amazing. Megan, good to see you. Marie, good to see you. Chelsea. Awesome. More ZenHeads in the house.
Great.
So, psychedelic drugs, they really can, maybe, I don't know, possibly.
We're going to clear it. We're going to clear up the mysteries. We're going to clear it up for you
and bust the myths, because that is just what we do.
So here we go.
Now it's time for the good stuff. Now it's time for the good stuff. Now it's time.
I think that was extra good because he's got his Wu-Tang shirt on. So
my mushrooms in the back.
Tip number 1. Okay, that was all. You're done. So tip number 1. Did
drugs start religions?
Okay, so this is all coming from entheogen theory. So I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. I'm actually a theologian. Hashtag real. So over the millennia, certain vegetation was eaten, brewed, smoked, and they have been found, of course, as you know, to alter consciousness and change brain chemistry. And one important theory is that conscious altering drugs may have actually been the catalyst that began many religious systems.
Because when you have an experience that big, you really want to understand it deeper, right?
So did you know that European witches, I'm putting quote because they're really herbalists, used belladonna, henbane, and mandrake to manufacture flying ointments? And
so I'm just picturing a bunch of witches going into the closet, pulling out their brooms and just,
so they weren't actually flying on their brooms. It was like, you know, they were like hitting the henbane. So basically that.
Exactly.
Little trivia for you. So
in ancient religions, entheogens were used to invite the gods to offer knowledge.
So, for instance, the soma mentioned in the Rig Veda in ancient India was used to access timelessness and bliss.
Boom. And it is true that many drug experiences have the same characteristics as mystical or religious experience, but it depends on 3 factors. You've got the drug itself, the psychological makeup of the user, and the environment that the drug is taken in.
So here's some stats for you. 1/3, like a quarter to 1/3 of people who have no idea about mystic experience or previous knowledge of it will have a mystical experience when they engage in a psychedelic drug, about 1/3 of people. And that goes up if you have a previous construct for spiritual experience. But if you are in a setting where it's set up to have a religious or spiritual ecstatic experience, like if you're with a group of people, 95% or greater will have an experience.
Yep. So the experience, along with the spontaneous ecstasy or the rapture that happens without drugs, okay, we're talking about without drugs right now, stimulates intensified visual acuity as portions of the brain that are closer to primal responses get activated.
So primal instinct, aka spidey senses that we talk about, that are closer to that operate in the subconscious, come into the conscious mind, and you get woke.
You get woke, yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about sustaining that, but if you want to get woke and stay woke, stick around for the keys at the end. And before we continue, I want to say what's up to Lauren, what's up to Christian. Hi again, guys. Lauren from Chicago, good to see you. Lords, Vanessa, Gina. Wow, so many people.
Chicago, that's how we call it in the Mexican. Chicago. You're from Chicago.
Yes.
So who wants free stuff? This is the moment in our live when you put in a hashtag free stuff.
Yep. And we've got 2 freebies, but you have to earn them because everything tastes better, just like mushrooms, when you have to earn them.
Yeah.
Actually, they don't.
Keep watching, and
anyway,
we'll tell you how. Hit that like button and give us some hearts if you want free stuff. 1
for sharing, 1 for staying. We'll let you know in a bit.
So let's get into tip number 2. Drugs and ancestors. Okay, they say in theology that religions emerged partly from the primal struggle to define and control a hostile environment. And
because we all know that challenges bring more opportunity for evolution, more opportunity to kind of get more woke, right?
But it is suggested that along the way,
they found snacks to eat, such as mushrooms containing psilocybin.
Right. So did you know that the Aztecs, aka my people, we kept people's hearts out and ate them. So the Aztecs called psilocybin mushrooms flesh of the gods. And you'll even see like ancient carved statues of mushroom gods. They're called mushroom stones that you will find in like Mexico and Guatemala.
So entheogen scholars have even suggested references in Hebrew scripture that refer to mind-altering substances. Okay, the manna of the Old Testament that the Israelites found on the dewy ground in the morning is suggested to be mushrooms.
So it's manna or manna, like manna from heaven.
Manna.
And so, but if so, that answers the question of why
manna. I'm gonna get high. Wait.
So that's really great. So that's
where it
fantastic.
came from.
David was having a flashback to the 60s. If so, that kind of answers the questions of why it took them 40 years to reach the promised land, because they were stumbling around stoned in the desert. And that
the original Wake and Bake kids.
That's what I think.
Wake and Fry.
So it is theorized that our ancestors may have had a boost in evolution as new thought pathways were opened up from the use of substances. And this boost in visual acuity that they were experiencing may have improved hunting.
So those who were open and woke hunted better, and those are the ones that survived. I'm just going with that one.
These are theories, guys.
Yeah. So if so, huge shifts in consciousness could have occurred in a relatively short period of time, like the 60s and 70s. Just saying. They would have been temporarily...
They're talking about ancient times, not the 60s and 70s.
So there was a re-emergence. So they would have been temporarily transmitted.
It's not have anything to do with it. This is like when we're with spears, not like with bongs in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would have been temporarily transported into an entirely new cosmos of experiencing the world at a quantum level.
I should have known better than to do like an episode on drugs with David.
Whoa.
Because he's so easily distracted.
Me in the 60s. Woo.
You weren't alive in the 60s. I
was so alive.
I was alive. He was not alive. So earlier modern studies of hallucinogens that started in 1890 and kind of
not in the 60s.
And kind of culminated in the 1960s, found that there was a correlation to the visions that happen in a shamanic death and rebirth dream, or in the typical death and resurrection vision of a Christian mystic, to those induced by a psychedelic drug experience. They found that the description of them were very similar, different costumes, different makeup, but the experience was similar.
Yep. So Chelsea says, no wonder Mario kept trying to save that stunned blonde. Absolutely. Dang mushrooms. Amanda, good to see you. Chelsea says, don't smoke with bad jokers. Please don't. Don't do that. Let's see. Lauren says, love the 60s. Part of me feels, or Lawrence, love the 60s. Part of me feels like I lived it. Yep, me too. Lauren says, did you guys personally try or attend an ayahuasca retreat? Your thoughts on DMT? Will you be talking about this
in another video?
Right. Those are two that are more specific, and we will talk about those later. I've done many things when I was younger. Ayahuasca or DMT, both of those I have not.
He's accessing.
Yeah. Anyway, the 60s took my memory.
He wasn't alive in the 60s, I'm telling you. So
let us know how we're doing so far, if this is making sense. If so, share it with someone who needs to get woke.
So hit the like button, give us some hearts if you are woke. And I want to ask you a question.
Serious question.
A serious question. Should drugs be spiritual or recreational?
Yeah.
Like,
let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Christian said, yes, would like to know your opinion on DMT as well. It's kind of broad spectrum. I think we're kind of
going to get into it in the next tip. So let me just say that before we go off on a tangent.
Yeah, but I do want to at least address those both a little bit today.
Okay. Well then,
after this,
after the tip,
yeah,
okay, because this might. Then I think the next question might answer your question. The next
Chelsea says, "Killing it."
Oh my God, killing something. So tip number 3: the religion of religious experience. Okay, so this kind of is a broad spectrum answer to all of those questions about ayahuasca, DMT, any kind of mind-altering substance in the context of the spiritual experience. And this is where I want to get to today. Is this tip. So the religion of religious experience. And this is what's important for you guys to know if you are thinking about experimenting with anything. Okay. Because I'm not going to tell you that it's right or wrong for you, because you are the only person that can determine that. Okay.
So apparently we're going to have to do a video on personal experiences, and that's probably going to be more me than you. Amanda says, love this video. Can't wait to see the one about your personal experiences.
So just FYI for me, yes, I've experimented with some things, but I also have I have a brain chemistry. I have a serotonin blood sugar imbalance. So there are certain things that I cannot do.
Or she would die, literally.
Right, because they'll cause a seizure in me. So for some people who automatically have a low blood sugar, you probably should not do things like some of the extreme psychedelics, because here's how they work. They suck the blood sugar out of your brain and they pull you into that experience real deep. If you've already got a low blood sugar imbalance, it could cause you seizure and stroke. For me,
it could be dangerous, correct.
I had like consistent seizures as a kid, but that also pushed me into that place where you experience that DMT thing. So for me, I kind of accessed that without drugs. So from a very young age, when I was 3, I would have these low blood sugar seizures. And I was like, boom, in that space. So that's the whole goal of when you do the psychedelic drugs is they suck the blood sugar out of your brain and slam you into that space. And that's chemically what's happening. Some people access it naturally. That doesn't mean some things like marijuana don't do that same thing to your brain, but things like psychedelic, psychotropics.
LSD,
well, that's how they work. So for me, bad thing, David doesn't have the problem I do. I don't consider it a problem because it's made me.
It's kind of a gift because she doesn't need these things to open up as visually as others might, or mentally as other people may, to kind of open that part inside of their brain.
So I guess you're getting a little bit of our drug experience. So that is.
But we will definitely do another video that'll go more into detail on the experiences themselves.
Right. Okay. So I love how Starseed says too much use takes away from the spiritual. And this is what we're going to talk about right now. And so there's a specific formula in theology about how it works. So
interestingly, brain chemistry, as we're talking about right now, reacts and changes in the exact same way when a mentally psychotic person avoids reality by falling into a fantasy world, as when a religious visionary escapes into rapture.
So then the question becomes, and you know how we like to kind of poke the tiger between the two ends. The question becomes, are religious experiences delusions of the mind and chemical reactions, or are they really happening?
And that would be another poll.
Right? So some skeptics say
that religions are just an escape from reality.
So this may be partly true, but there are other factors that are important for a spiritual system,
the system
that the drug use takes part of to actually be of value to your life as a whole.
While drugs may be capable of inducing religious or spiritual experiences, they do not on their own induce religious or spiritual lives. Okay?
Okay, so religion or spirituality. I want to kind of clarify the difference between religion and spirituality. There's two kind of basic definitions. And one, they say religion is about the
path to get there.
The religion is about the structure of how to access God, and spirituality is your direct access to God. But you can also, there's the different, more accurate definition is religion requires the worship of a deity. Okay, that's what religion requires. Spirituality does not require the worship of a deity. It's your direct connection to the feeling. So that's kind of the difference when we interchange the two terms.
Or religion is the path to get there, and the spirituality is the direction connection of the experience itself. But regardless of the experience, it is more than the experience to create the life.
So in theology, we know that to be a sustainable faith system or spiritual path, you need to engage three vital components of human nature. And this is going to answer that question about, what do you think about DMT or ayahuasca or whatever?
That's getting lost in the symptoms.
It's just, that's your choice. That's your choice of access.
So it doesn't matter how you access it or what it is that you're accessing or what you're using to get there. These three things give you the components to create that sustainable system: mind, will, and feeling.
So mind, will, and feeling are in theology the three things that have to be engaged of human nature for it to be a sustainable faith system. So for those who practice the religion of religious experience, the religion of religious experience, which is important, this is not going to be sustainable.
And we're going to break it down.
So first is the mind.
Religions or spiritual systems that are based in reason alone, which stimulate only the mind, can grow boring.
We can't sustain that, right? So
unsustainable.
The second part is the will. The system's got to engage your sense of will, which means you got to put forth a little bit of work. So systems based in duty alone, like these are the things I have to do, like have to do all of these little religious activities, these rituals, that those things that are based in duty alone, which activates only the will or the discipline, which you need as part of that triad, can grow heavy and tedious.
I think you might have taken a wrong turn if that's the case. That's a dungeon in LA.
So
wrong turn.
Different kind of discipline, David. So the third is the feeling.
And
so
it doesn't involve leather.
So the religions that are purely of experience,
which activate feeling alone, can be addictive and create an avoidance of life, or things that we call spiritual bypassing.
So when you're looking for a spiritual system,
Mhm.
the three things that it should engage are your mind,
Mhm.
your will or discipline, and the feeling.
Together.
So together, because then that's kind of a body, mind, spirit.
Right.
thing,
So before we continue, I wanted to touch on a couple questions that are really good. A couple of comments that are really good. Courtney says, my experiences were great, except I don't like that. And she also says, detoxing and reverence can help. Absolutely. Christian says, I'm thinking that recreational is a part of spirituality. I believe the natural drugs have a purpose. Also, constant meditation can lead you to a similar experience without drugs. And that's kind of the main point of this video.
Yeah, it accesses the same place, but that takes the will and the discipline.
And the practice over a long period of time, literally changing your brain chemistry over time.
Or like me, you're just born with low blood sugar. So,
and too much use, I agree. It's about respecting the drugs and not abusing, my opinion. Absolutely, I
agree with that. So
some Zen Buddhists say that Satori, which is a sudden awakening, resembles an LSD experience.
Okay, but it's said that once a student attains enlightenment, and you're going to see this in different systems too, by the wisdom leaders will tell you this. Once you attain the enlightenment experience or the Satori, they must be driven out of it and back into the world, and they must sit with what has been revealed and develop character. And we like to call that the integration or the stabilization of the experience.
Because the experience itself is fantastic. It can be mind-blowing, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through any kind of drug opening, but it can be mind-blowing. The best part is integrating those experiences into your daily life. It's taking the spiritual and making it real.
Otherwise, what promises to be kind of a shortcut to enlightenment, and I see people using it as a shortcut to enlightenment, and what happens is they don't know how to stabilize it into their life. So it promises to be a shortcut to enlightenment, which means you don't want to engage the first or the second qualities of a sustainable faith system, which is to integrate the mind and the will. Then it proves to be a short circuit.
Absolutely.
So what began as a religion, if it only engages the feeling aspect, will end up as a substitute for a true spiritual path. It becomes spiritual bypassing.
Yes. So yes, a substance can assist the spiritual life, but only if it is in context with a holistic path that engages the mind, the will, and the feeling instead of feeling alone. Otherwise, you're bypassing, it's escapism. You're just trying to run from life, and you're not really learning how to get woke and stay woke.
So JP Sears did the most hilarious video on ayahuasca, like, I don't know, about 5-6 years ago. So Google that and go watch his video on ayahuasca. It was hilarious. So
and Megan says, yes, it's a way of life, not just a quick fix. I love this point. Thank you for clearing up these topics. Very important. Christian says, yes, the drugs make us experience higher states of consciousness, but doesn't show us how. Still, I believe they have a purpose.
Yeah.
Amanda says, when doing some research, I read somewhere that your third eye is your pineal gland opening up, mainly under psychedelics. Have you guys heard of something like this?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, we actually did a video on the third eye. That's on our YouTube channel. Go check that one out. It kind of explained a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, we'll do some more on the third eye.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
really interesting because the pineal gland, they theorize that is a defunct vision receptor. And so the main thing it does is regulate sleep, which is the melatonin serotonin thing, and which is part of the imbalance that I have, which is I have low serotonin, low blood sugar.
So when you have a better balance.
Well, for me, it works because so when you have a higher, like the melatonin, which is that kind of takes you into that subconscious sleep zone. Right. So I think that's probably for me why,
So we want to know if you are more excited now that you have these tips. Have we cleared up some mysteries or busted some myths?
So it is a revolution here at ZRG. We like to poke the tiger and blow some holes in things, and we are fighting back against lost fairies and unicorns. We're running them up.
Causing chaos and wreaking havoc.
We love them both, but sometimes they drink too much love and light and puke rainbows, which is super hard to get out of the carpet.
Yep. Or you can just have rainbow carpets. It's not pretty. Anyway, we're on a mission to crack the codes and revolutionize this field to support metaphysical entrepreneurs with real tools for the 21st century.
But we do need your help. Share this video. Click the I'm part of the revolution link in the description with a hashtag I shared ZRD to get that bonus we talked about.
Or ZRG even.
Yeah. What did I
ZRD.
say? I said ZRD. I said
ZR David.
Why would I say
Boom,
that?
ZR David.
You just heard
Zen
wrong.
Rose David.
No ayahuasca for breakfast for
So
you.
we want to shout out one of our Zen heads, Gemma, who shared her experience with us on the Google machine.
I really want to give you love back. She says, and I'm paraphrasing.
And she's one of our hashtag Zen heads for life.
Yes, I'm paraphrasing her. She says it was a longer review.
Yeah.
She says, I'm an intuitive arts professional and was really stuck with which direction to go in, but I didn't know how to get to the core issue. Heather and David held space so that I could be seen and my gifts honored, of which are immense. This woman, it was exactly what I needed. Immediately, I found myself acting with a relaxed confidence and clarity that I could not access days before. I've gained clarity and direction from my business that I didn't have, and suddenly everyone is sharing with me about how much my work has helped them. We love it when you guys kick ass out in the world.
Absolutely. Gemma, you are a gem, literally. You are, I just love the work that you bring to the world and how seeing your light shine and seeing your light open is extremely beneficial for us because we get to see you open and kind of stand and step into your power, your strength, and what you're supposed to be doing for the world. It's an honor that we were a part of that opening, but it's most. I know. The best thing, and this is what we love with all of our people, is when people step into their truth, when people step into what they're here for, what they are meant for. That really, really touches my heart deep. So thank you, Gemma. It's been a pleasure and an honor. So now it's time for that offer to take your healing arts business from basic to bodacious, because this is our full-time gig.
I mean, it's what keeps the lights on, gives us a break for sushi, feeds those two hungry dogs, but only if it works for you. We have learned that self-growth and developing your superpowers go together like sushi, Sapporo, and sake that we get to have once a week. It's just a must.
So that is why we created our signature subscription membership, Zen.Ed Academy, to bridge that gap and revolutionize this field, because we don't want to just half-ass it.
Gonna do it. You could keep bouncing around like a pinball from one outdated program and never gaining traction.
Or you could plug directly into all of our unique proven shortcuts, signature mind hacks, and emotional ninja skills that have worked for thousands of our students to step into their clarity, confidence, and personal power so that you can live your passion completely and get paid for it.
And get paid for it, because you got to keep the lights on too, right?
Yes.
So is this right for you? Quick rundown. Are you tired of mediumship advice that is way too complicated?
Are you tired of people telling you that the intuitive arts are satanic, or that light workers and healers are all crazy?
I just can't with you. So are you ready for intuitive development without a judgment?
Are you ready for psychic mediumship training that doesn't scare the crap out of you,
No.
or self-growth that is natural and fun?
I'm not trying to scare you. So if so, Zen.Ed Academy is our rebel base where the revolution
Rebel base
begins.
Yes. Zen.Ed Academy is where the science of self-growth meets the magic of mysticism, with the best collection of mind hacks, emotional healing techniques, and psychological superpowers to stand strong, stand out, and do good while living your best life, and most importantly, having fun. Have you met us? We like to have fun.
It gets insane. So this will work for you, even if you are allergic to fairy dust and just need real information without all the unicorn poop.
And this is going to work for you even if you're a complete virgin to this and have never had your metaphysical cherry pop.
So Zen.Ed Academy is our inner circle where we jack you into the ZRG mainframe so you can finally conquer your inner supervillain, master your unique superpowers, because they are unique to you, so that you can heal the world in the special way only you can.
What do you need to do to get into the Academy and become part of the revolution?
Here it is.
Click the link in the description to be taken to the checkout cart. Put in your details, and in seconds, you will be a part of the Inner Revolution team with support at the ready.
And that's going to get you on your way to opening your mind, stabilizing your gifts with a like-minded tribe.
We have a badass tribe, and we want you in it.
But we're not going to give you drugs. That's up to you.
No.
You find your own.
Find your own.
Yeah.
All of the info is down below. If you still have questions, comment with hashtag #TellMeMore. Send us a message on Facebook at Zen Rose Garden or DM on IG.
So because you guys stay to the end, you do get the prize. Click the I love you so much I stayed link in the description with a hashtag I love ZRG, not ZRD.
Yes. If you like this video, hit that like button.
If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. That is where we get ideas like this one for new videos.
And for more mind hacking pro
Be
tips,
sure to subscribe.
and click the bell to turn notifications on
So you're the first to know
when we drop a new video.
Yes, there he goes. Or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource. And the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that not only with us, but most importantly with yourselves, leveling up your skills, we absolutely honor and appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you in the next video.